Mayor Todd, Gloria is also speaking out about this draft opinion. He joins us live tonight for our monthly segment to answer your questions. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, we have a lot to cover tonight, but let's begin with that draft opinion that has been leaked. We saw your tweet vowing to fight for reproductive rights. What action could you take as mayor of San Diego if Roe v. Wade is overturned?
Well, we're limited in what we can directly do, but we can often help influence processes at the state and federal level. We would expect that if the worst comes true, which we have every indication it will, that we could work in Sacramento to ensure that rights are protected here in California. And we can certainly advocate in Washington, D.C. For the preservation of a woman's right to choose. These are indirect measures, but hopefully the eighth largest city in the country weighing in this matter would be influential and really stopping what I think is a substantial reduction in a woman's rights to how she wants to care for her own body.
Mayor Gloria, empathy is fading, impatience is growing with our homelessness situation in San Diego. No one's happy about it, including you. This is a growing problem. Today we had a couple of council members put forward a plan for conservationships, the legal structure for it. There would be attorneys in the city attorney's office. But I have to ask, where would the money be for afterward, the care? Where does this fit on the continuum? And is it going to make anything change anytime soon?
Well, I saw the council members' announcement, and they're making that as a part of the city's budget process, which starts in earnest tomorrow with the first public hearing for my budget proposal. This would be in addition of a couple of positions at the city attorney's office to help process petitions for conservatorship. Your question is apt, though. Who provides the service on the back end? We may get that answer from the state government. You may know that I'm supporting Governor Gavin Newsom's Care Corps proposal, which would create more compulsory responsibility for homeless individuals with severe mental illness and substance abuse issues to get care, and for governments to actually provide that care. We'll see if this can be complementary to that particular effort, but clearly San Diegans, as you say, are frustrated, as am I, mostly frustrated because we're spending a lot of money on this particular issue, and yet we continue to see extremely sick, extremely vulnerable individuals left on the streets. That is not acceptable, and I'm grateful Governor Newsom has made this courageous proposal to break the status quo, and that's why I and the city of San Diego are standing with him.
Mayor, to continue about the homelessness crisis, a lot of people agree that something needs to be done. There's just different opinions on the way to get this problem solved. There has been some backlash about the way that some of the homeless people have been taken off the streets, their belongings taken, sometimes their pets taken. We talk about empathy. You know, what are the people being trained to do to deal with these people who have no homes?
Well, I understand that people have taken clips on social media and they tend to go viral. They often don't tell the full story of what's going on. So let me try and help. You know, the city has dramatically increased the amount of taxpayer dollars we commit towards this issue. What that has done is allow us to grow our number of shelter beds by 21% in just 1 year, create and expand street outreach teams that help get people into those shelters, lower barriers at those shelters so that now our occupancy rates are usually north of 90%. So not only more beds, but they're used more frequently, and then grow the number of housing options that are available. At the same time, we do have to enforce the law, and we do have rules against, blocking rights of way, occupying the streets, having hazardous materials that are in public rights of way on our roads and on our sidewalks. And so the city has to enforce the law, but that doesn't mean that we don't provide those compassionate interventions. We're doing more of those than we ever have. And again, those conservatorship reforms that we're seeking may help compel some of those folks who are frankly not able to accept help to finally get them. I think the bottom line, Marcella, is that there is reason to have hope, and I have not given up hope on this matter, and I encourage San Diegans to do the same.
Mayor Gloria, we've seen bike lanes, new bike lanes pop up all around the city recently. We've seen people upset in many of these areas for different reasons, but one kind of consistent theme we've heard is that it seems like the people in the immediate areas feel like they're not being communicated with well enough and soon enough and warned that these are coming in or have had the chance to give feedback about it.
Well, that's 100% true in Gold Coast Drive in Mira Mesa, which you all have done a lot of coverage of, and what you saw me take responsibility for and go out and apologize directly to residents. We did mess up there. Other projects, though, Carlo, in my experience, people are often afraid of change, and they may make a process argument about that in order to try and stop progress. But Carlo, here's the deal. We in the city of San Diego have an unacceptably high number of people who are getting killed as pedestrians and cyclists in our city. And it's a responsibility of me as mayor to make sure that we enforce safety in our community, both for motorists, cyclists, and for pedestrians. And often these lanes are part of that. We have an adopted bicycle master plan, an adopted mobility plan, an adopted climate action plan, and adopted community plans, all of which normally do spell out that bike lanes will be in particular parts of the community. What we're doing now is actually advancing them as we do paving projects in order to save taxpayer money. Go out there and do it once, pave the street, install the lane, move on, not do it separately and cost you more money. So what we're doing to trying to do a better job, we have a town hall meeting this Thursday to discuss new bike lanes on Park Boulevard. And that's a part of additional outreach that we've done in recent months and years. So we can continue to endeavor to get it better, do it right and get it better. And we'll continue to do that. But on Gold Coast Ride, there's no question we did not do that correctly, which is why those bike lanes are no longer there and why I personally took responsibility for that.
All right, people will continue to share their opinions. We know it's definitely a balancing act. Mayor Gloria, thanks so much for joining us again for our monthly segment. We'll see you next month.
See you next month.